beautiful morning to you, City of Lagos. Welcome to the last 1 hour of the show, your favorite talk radio show in the morning. The Morning Crossfire is what we call it. We are Nigeria Info, and we're reaching you live from Etim Ing Crescent, Victoria Island, Lagos. Top of the morning to wherever you are. Before we go into our conversation this morning, let me quickly remind you that the final week of I Beg to Differ, we have the third place match coming up tomorrow, Wednesday at 4 p.m. and we have the final match of the I Beg to Differ Secondary Schools Debates Tournament coming up on Thursday, starting from 3 p.m. You do not want to miss that tournament. Now, for those who like to be part of season 9 of the I Beg to Differ Student Debates Competition, season 9 registration has started. It started yesterday, so please visit our website, nigeriainfo.fm. If you're a school and you want your school to be a part of it, visit nigeriainfo.fm. On the homepage, you would find the registration banner there. Just click on it, and then you can enter the required information right there on our website, www.nigeriainfo.fm. We welcome all schools, public, private. As long as you're in Lagos, we welcome everybody to be a part of the season 9 journey. It starts in November, but registration has started yesterday, so please be a part of it, and you're most welcome to join us on this one. We also like to call on corporate bodies, NGOs, even individuals who like to sponsor or support I Beg to Differ. Please reach out to us. Send an email to info@nigeriainfo.fm. Let's even start a conversation. We'll get it somewhere. We don't discriminate. We have our doors are open to businesses, small, big, medium, whatever business that you do, and I'm sure that we have a package for you if you like to be a part of I Beg to Differ. I'm Sheriff Quadry, and yes, this morning we're looking at the state of the nation, starting with security though. Lagos, Nigeria, how safe do you feel in your own country today? How safe do you feel? Do you feel safe traveling by road, moving around your community, your neighborhood today compared to before now? Do you trust that your tax money, your tax paying salary, whatever it is that you pay your tax on, your businesses, is building a safer, more accountable nation for you? In recent months, there has been an uptick in attacks on communities in the northwest and north central regions of Africa's most populous country, Nigeria, my favorite country on the planet, where farmers often clash over limited access to land and water. Indigenous people, farmers clashing over cattle rearing business. According to a report by APnews.com on August 1, 2025, quoting the United Nations, Nigeria is also dealing with an insurgency in its northeast region that has resulted in the death of around, guess, 35,000 civilians. 35,000 civilians died, and the displacement of more than 2 million Nigerians. Now, despite the efforts by the government of President Bola Tinubu to curb jihadi attacks, the militancy has persisted. Yes, the military has recorded successes lately, but talk of governance and energy security for the first time in years, pipeline theft has been really reduced, if not completely eradicated. Just 3 years ago, only 30% of Nigeria's crude oil reached export terminals. Now nearly 100% arrives, safe fueling hopes of oil production reaching 2.5 million barrels per day. We are not there yet, but we're hoping that we'd get there. These are the areas that we intend to touch on today. Mr. Majeed Dahiru joins us virtually. Mr. Majeed, thank you for joining us this morning.
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure to join from Abuja.
Fantastic. Let's begin this way. Let's start with politics and governance. You must have been following the rhetorics by politicians, especially lately. what's your thought on that? How do you view these rhetorics? Do you feel, is it concerning to you? Is it a normal development?
Okay, for me, it's very concerning, very, very concerning, because the rhetoric you're talking about is all sound and fury, signifying absolutely nothing.
Hmm.
And it simply tells you that 26 years after Nigeria transited from military to civil democratic rule, our democracy is still stuttering. Our democracy is still crawling. When ordinarily it should be a young adult that is supposed to be responsible enough to consolidate on his or her own life achievements. So as we speak today, there is no democratic consolidation in Nigeria enough to allow democracy to begin to yield dividends in the form of improved security and welfare for the Nigerian people, which is supposed to be the primary responsibility and the purpose of democratic good governance. So what do you hear in the politics today? It's all about personality clashes. It's all about personal issues. It's all about, issues that simply do not provide alternatives to whatever the current government is offering. For me, the level of economic crisis in this country today, the level of social dislocation arising from the policies of the government of the day, has saddled this government, and I'm talking about the Tinubu administration, with a huge burden of incumbency disadvantage, which ordinarily the opposition is supposed to have taken advantage of by providing clear-cut alternatives to what they are offering. And for those of them that are already in power at various levels, to oppose by that example that they are offering, so that the Nigerian people can have better choices to choose from. And that is the inherent beauty of democracy. But unfortunately, what we have seen is that on one hand, the ruling party is underperforming. On the other hand, the opposition is underperforming more than the ruling party. Because a democracy stands on two legs, government and opposition. The reason is because you are expected as a citizen to have dissenting opinions, to have alternative viewpoints. And so you ordinarily need another platform through which your aspirations can be met. As we speak today, from all the talks of coalition, I have listened to all those who are seeking to take over the reins of power from the incumbent administration of the Tinubu government. And not a single person, not one of them, not one. I've listened to most of their leaders. Not one person has been able to come out to say, in place of policy ABC, I am going to do XYZ. None. From as basic as the subsidy reward on petroleum, for instance, the flotation of the naira, the changing of the national anthem from the old one to the new one, or even the new one to the old one now, none of these political leaders, none of these political parties have been able to say, hey, if given the opportunity, we're going to do so and so differently to use so result in order to solve the problem that the current policies have caused. So Nigerians have been left in a jeopardy of some sorts. And an underperforming government on one hand, and an underperforming position on the other hand. So our democracy has remained stunted. And it's beginning to delegitimize democracy, not because democracy is faulty, but the operators in Nigeria have operated it wrongly and are still doing so. And so people are beginning to ask questions about what is the relevance of democracy really in our developmental trajectory as a people. People are now looking back to even military governments with nostalgia. I mean, you see that comparison. Our former president, Olusegun Obasanjo, is even telling us we should go back to Afro-democracy. People are simply having problem with what we have today as a representative democracy. Whereas democracy remains the best form of government anywhere in the world. However, the problem of democracy in Nigeria is Nigeria and not democracy.
I mean, the way you put it is quite interesting because I was going to ask you. I mean, we'll go into governance shortly, but let's talk more about politics, democracy, politics, politicians, the electorate, the people. You can't separate all of these things. Everybody works together to make the democratic style of government function. Very well. There's got to be a role. You've talked about the role of the political class, the opposition, the ruling party. What about the role of the people? What role do the people play? Have the people played their role effectively?
Okay, now you must understand that the Nigerian Constitution, for instance, does not allow for independent candidacy. And let me say this quickly. You see, in the democratic value chain of Nigeria, its weakest link point, its weakest point is the political party system. It is not the judiciary. It is not the legislature. It's not even the executive. It is the political party system. It's not even INEC, as people might think. This is because in a democracy, the political party system ordinarily should serve as the brain box of a democracy. Because laws by themselves do not operate themselves. They are inanimate. So you need the human thought. You need what is called the political will,
right,
to not give life to the intendment, the letters, and the spirit of the Constitution. And this is what political parties ordinarily will do. They will devise what is called a manifesto and try to marry it with the provision of the Constitution with the aim of providing security and welfare through whatever legitimate means possible. Now, in doing this, it is expected that they are going to organize the people in absence of independent candidates. For instance, no matter how you and I feel bad about the situation, we can't come together as independents and decide to run for an election. We can't do that.
We cannot.
But you have to register with the political party first. Unfortunately, the political party system, I will not seem to talk about this enough in this country. The political party system has been the weakest link in our democratic value chain because everything rises and falls on leadership. And the political party is the platform for democratic leadership recruitment process. So ordinarily, this should have been the most important organ of our democracy because it's on the political party that the executive depends on for leadership recruitment process. The legislature, the same thing, and the judiciary will be appointed by people that have been elected and cleared by these other two arms of government. It begins from the political party. But you now have a situation in Nigeria where political parties, apart from lacking what people generally call ideology, are largely some of the same platforms for power grab for self-service. And most importantly, hardly will you find a political party in Nigeria with a credible membership register. It is that bad. As basic as membership register is not credible. So if a political party that's going to produce your governor, your presidents, your senators, your senate presidents, and all of that, can't even have a credible membership register, whose internal processes are flawed, are monetized, are highly corrupted, it means the brain box of your democracy is a corrupted one. So what it will yield is a corrupted political leadership that will corrupt the Constitution and cannot deliver good governance in any form at all. So what people need to do now, if you ask me, is having come to this realization, is to come together. I've always advocated for this. We need to come together as a people, as a coalition of the willing, and form a political party and attempt to correct the ills within the older order and establishment political parties. And I'll tell you something today. There's a reason why Nigeria is endemically corrupt, cancerously corrupt. Nigeria is so corrupt that EFCC and SAPC cannot fight corruption in Nigeria comprehensively. Because corruption in Nigeria is a political matter, it's a cultural one. The reason is simple. Nigeria's political parties currently, and all of them without an exception, play what we call politics of ethnic and religious identity, basically. So, for instance, I live in Abuja. The day I want to go into partisan politics, either in APC or PDP, another of these parties, I'll be required to go back to my ward of origin, the village I come from, where my great grandfather came from. I have to go back there and register to be a member of that party. I'm not expected to register in Abuja, where I live, where I reside. Now, already there's now a mismatch between economy and politics. Because I'm going to register in where I reside, where I pay taxes, in order to participate in the politics of the management of my resources and security. No. I am to go back to your root, where your own share of national cake is coming through allocations to the state, to local government, and to various constituencies.
Mr. Majeed, I will beg your pardon. We need to step out now for a quick break. Let's go off on this break. Please don't lose your train of thought. We'll come back to you and pick up from there. Lagos, we'll be right back.
You are listening to your number one station for talk.
99.3 Nigeria Info.
99.3 Nigeria Info. Let's talk.
Start your day and have a good time.
Kivo Creamer.
Where you need to have the break time.
Kivo Creamer.
If not tea, Papa Garita.
Kivo Creamer. Kivo Creamer. Pocari Sweat.
My ions, please, can't get enough. My ions, please, give it to me now.
Pocari Sweat.
It go rehydrate you, yeah. Replenish your ions with Pocari Sweat. Rehydrate you faster, easily observe.
Pocari Sweat.
Give me some more.
Pocari Sweat.
Malta Guinness is now 600 naira. Now you get the same refreshing, nourishing, rich premium Malta Guinness for just 600 naira. Available at stores near you. Malta Guinness, here for every kind of you.
Oh, the only detergent that keeps me bright and fresh. I know they waste time to wash. I thought my clothes have the best, so why go less? You can't wash it out with a little Viva. Use Viva. Don't waste your time, don't waste your money. Use Viva. Viva, oh Viva. I love my Viva. Don't need no other. I love my Viva forever. Viva, oh Viva. I love my Viva. Don't need no other. I love my Viva forever. Viva, I love my Viva. Don't need no other. I love my Viva forever.
Viva Detergent, a quality cleaning powder from Aspire.
Stay fresh, stay dry with Nivea Dry. No but smell, they protect from sweat and they last well.
Media Dry, don't get 25 ml pack. Make you rush, go buy am.
The prices, no they tear pocket. Make you stay fresh, stay dry with Nivea Dry.
Nivea dry deodorant will help you maintain your steez. It only for 25 ml small size for boys and girls with
Nivea Dry.
Lift Expo Nigeria 2025. The International Elevators and Escalators Technologies Expo is coming to Nigeria. Experience the future of vertical transportation with over 75 plus exhibitors from Germany, China, Italy, Turkey, and India. September 2nd to 4th, 2025. Venue, Landmark Center VI. Entry is free.
All right, class, settle down. Today, let's talk about how you started your day.
We got dressed and had pancakes with John Vance 3-in-1 chocolate for breakfast.
My mom makes John Vance 3-in-1 chocolate for us.
My mom calls it instant goodness. My sister and I always put it inside our pap. It's so yummy.
John Vance 3-in-1 chocolate is a chocolate drink made of rich cocoa, milk, and sugar. Available nationwide in stores. John Vance 3-in-1 chocolate. Enjoy instant goodness.
Okay now. Dependable insurance. After God, you are the next insurer. See as the boys the Allah. All the ladies the Allah. Ensure your car protection from accidents. Unforeseen loss, you can see them. Mistakes are meant to happen. If you don't jam the car, they'll jam yours. Will you beat them? Yes, you will get them arrested. Your plans for that day is affected. You waste your money, you waste energy. You tax how you
protection that pays today. Call 0700 AXA Mansa to get a motor insurance that pays. AXA, know you can.
Little body, big moves. Little brain, big learning. Your little child is eager to do big things. Every sachet of Cerelac Junior comes with the nutrition they need: natural grains, protein, and iron to support their physical growth, learning, and development. So you can fully enjoy your little one's big moments of growth.
Osalobua. Baba, make you help me, oh. Make I dey shine my eyes. Make my enemies no see me, oh. Even when I dey sleep, make I no lose that, oh. Baba, in short, choose dey help me stay alert. As Airtel, they alert me anytime Yahoo people send spam message to take scam me, oh.
At Airtel, we have taken proactive steps to keep you safe from every spam activity with Airtel News Spam Alert service. Powered by AI, it scans text in real time with no app or setup needed. Airtel, a reason to imagine.
Here you go, dear.
Mom, you didn't add milk.
No need to. Taste it and see why.
Wow, but how?
Is it milky?
Yes.
Is it creamy?
Yes.
That's Milo 3-in-1 milky and creamy for you. It's so milky. I don't need to add more milk.
I love it, Mommy.
Give your kid Milo 3-in-1, milky and creamy. It's truly milky. It contains calcium to help your champ win every day. Milo, energy, go further.
Milo. I'm in love. Sonia tomato mix, stand up. Is it to open? Is it to squeeze? Is it to scoop and is it to stir?
Sonia tomato mix in a new stand-up pouch.
Hey, Boku don't come again with the high quality for low prices. Boku don't reduce over 20 more products from 60 cl Coca-Cola for only 350 naira to 60 cl Fanta for the same 350 naira. Even 60 cl Sprite, 350 naira join. That not be all Read it Uncle, 40 cl, now 390 naira. Ever Water, 1500 ml. That one na 300 naira. Your favorite Boku family size bread only 1,300 naira. You dey feel am? Hey, you dey feel am? Hurry now, go any Boku store for prices with cheap pass market.
Yes, so check Boku for prices with cheap pass market. And Boku not far from you. This one no be promo. Now like this, we dey enjoy every day for inside Boku store. Oh yeah, Alele go Boku store now.
99.3 Nigeria Info, your number one station for talk. Let's talk. Morning Crossfire on 99.3 Nigeria Info.
Nigeria Info. Good morning to you, Lagos, Nigeria. Once again, if you're just tuning in, you're most welcome. I have Mr. Majeed, Dahiru, a public affairs analyst, joining us all the way from the federal capital, Abuja, on the show this morning. We're looking at the state of the nation, really, and we're just getting started before the break came on. We had to go on that break. I'm Sheriff Quadry. You can watch the show on Facebook and on YouTube. Nigeria Info 99.3 is how you can watch Nigeria Info 99.3, and please drop your comments on our live stream there. Let's see if you've got any question for my guest or your own input. I'd love to read from you. Okay, Mr. Majeed, please go on. You were on a trajectory before the break.
Exactly. Yeah. So our politics is largely driven by identity, ethnic and religious identity. So it's our son of the soil, indigenous agriculture, and all of those indices. Something akin to what our brother Chukwuemeka was speaking to before we come on the show. Now, the reward system for identity politics is state patronage, appointments, inflated contracts, through processes such as favoritism, cronyism, sectionalism, tribalism, bigotry, all of which are the reward system for Nigeria's brand of politics. Identity politics is corruption. You see, international scholars studied Nigeria, and derived a word that describes the phenomenon in Nigeria. They call it prebendalism. What is prebendalism? It is a situation where elective as well as appointing officers of the state feel personally entitled to state resources within their domain. And it is an acceptable norm. Anybody you see within the branch of Western politics is going to participate with the intention to benefit from the system, not to render public service. So between 1999 and today, what has happened is that our politics has degenerated into a criminal franchise of power grab for self-service and not for public service. So the national cake has been perpetually being in a sharing mode. In fact, it has been overshared as we speak. We're now borrowing ingredients to bake some components of the cake. Sometimes we're not even patient enough to bake the cake. We begin to consume the flour, the sugar, the salt, the oil as it is coming. What am I saying in essence? This is what has brought us here. And we're a democracy. Even if elections are free and fair under this system, it will still be the same thing. So Nigeria, for instance, does not have a national integrated plan for development at all. It's not existing. What you have, as seen in our budgeting system, is everybody coming to put all sorts of filthy projects in the budget, and it swells to 40 trillion. At the end of the day, it is implemented partially, and there is no improvement in anything. Now, to change this, anybody who's opposing Tinubu now should know that what you're opposing is the current order. It's like you're opposing the status quo. It's not about Tinubu as a person anymore. As it was about Buhari or Jonathan for him. It's now a system that needs to shift. We need a paradigm from where we are now. And what do? We now need to have a political process that is devoid of ethnic, regional, and religious identity, to one that is truly liberal and embracing of all tendencies within the pan-Nigerian framework. To this end, we now need political parties that mobilize members in their places of residence, not places of origin, so that politics can now converge with the economy. So that the purpose of politicking will now be economy. And so the reward for such kind of politics will now be good governance for the majority and no longer patronage, a corrupt form of patronage for that matter, for a few friends and family members. This thinking, this critical assessment that I've made is still lacking in the polity. What you see is that people are struggling to displace those in power to come in and continue from where they stopped. This has been the norm since 2015. That's why I said the rhetoric, everybody's struggling for 2000. Everybody's complaining that I was excluded from this. I was not an appointed minister. I was used and dumb. These are the things you are hearing. Nobody has an alternative. And to make the whole matter worse, all of them are now united. All of them are united in their adoption of the neoliberal right-wing economic template that seeks to abdicate that government responsibility in the midst of production and the real heavy lifting of governance to so-called private sector. Because it's convenient for them. I mean, the governor sits down and tells you, I can't invest in farming, I can't do business. I'm waiting for, he organizes a jamboree and bring in so-called investors to a party, and that's all the role he's going to play. And tell them I've created all the enabling environment and all of that. And that is why at the subnational level, the economy is moribund. So they are all united around this. So none of them critically is challenging the fundamentals of the Tinubu-nomy, or I don't know how to call it, the Tinubu economy that has created this problem. None of them is challenging it fundamentally. None of them have said, for instance, about the last first of Tinubu. None have said I will unflow the naira. None have said I will plunge into the means of production as a government to generate revenue away from taxes and levies. None of them have been able to come up with this alternative because it is a struggle. It's like a mortal combat for Nigeria's internal resources among the political elite. So we as a people, what we need to do now is to understand that one, fundamentally, we are one people as Nigerians, whether you're Yoruba, Igbo, or Hausa, or Christian, Muslim, Northern, Southerner. Embrace each other. And now begin to organize ourselves around the ideals of true liberal democratic tenets that guarantees democratic citizenship to all and can lead to the emergence of leadership that is based on a very sanitized process. Because the process is very important. If I pay you money as a delegate to become governor, it's an investment. Where would I get my ROI from? From the state treasury. But if you bankroll me, if I get to power without paying a dime to anybody, on the strength of my ideas, because I've been able to aggregate the interest of the people within my constituency to say, look, with a stroke of a pen and a pronouncement of a policy, your revenue, your income, everything will increase by 50%. And they vote for me. I'm only expected to do that and nothing more. We need to, in essence, we need to reconfigure our politics away from identity of ethnicity and religion to one that is pragmatic, that is liberal, that encapsulates the economic, social, environmental, and security interests of people within the various constituencies of Nigeria, from the 36 states of the Federation to the FCT, to the 734 government areas of Nigeria, to the 260 federal house constituencies and 109 senatorial districts. We need that paradigm. It's a marathon, it's not going to be a sprint.
Right.
We might not win 2027 election, but we would have been on the path to consolidation gradually, where we can now oppose by example. So when you say these people are not doing well in your own state, if you manage to win one state or one constituency, you do it better. So you would have members of the parliament that will be honorable, truly honorable, in the Senate that will be truly distinguished, and governors that will be truly excellent. We are governance works in line with the intent, the spirit, and the letters of the Constitution in what I call constitutional fidelity. Once you do that, people naturally will gravitate towards an umbrella, towards a platform that has been able to translate, make meaning.
Apologies for the
Will not commit class suicide in order to even up with you, and democracy becomes beautiful in Nigeria, beautifully consolidated.
So Majeed, let's move on very quickly, and this time before we go into governance, I'd like to pick your brain on the opposition. You mentioned the opposition earlier about how they are regrouping and everything. Some of them are not part of the regroup. Even within the regroup, there's been some subgroups there. Lately, we have seen the name of President Jonathan being flown. We have seen the name of Peter Obi being flown, especially in the PDP. What do you think opposition should be like in 2027 or before 2027?
Okay, first, any political party that wants to make a difference now will have to become clean. It's like becoming a born-again Christian, something like that. I will urge political parties, irrespective of their history, because again, angels should not turn up from heaven to some Nigerian problem. It will still disturb with this like this. So what I think the party should be doing is fine. The PDP has corrected its own mistake of 2023. When they have finally come out to say, okay, we now realize that in the interest of national unity, equity, fairness, and justice, power should remain in the South for the next 4 years. So the PDP is going to pick a Southern candidate. That is the first right step towards their own redemption. But it goes far beyond that. What they also need to do is to do what I've just talked about. Transform the PDP from an establishment status quo party to one that is now reflective of the new aspirations of the people and where we need to be. If the PDP goes to the primary election with all the other candidates, and people have to pay delegates to emerge, you see, what will happen to them is this. The average Nigerian will feel that there's no difference between the PDP and the APC. So why do you have to dissipate energy filing out to vote for the same of the same? Now, to do that, they must reform their own internal processes, and 2 years is quite enough to do that. But when people see them making that effort, it will endear them to the people. And in fielding a candidate, the PD must, or any opposition party, must field a transformational figure. Somebody that commands some level of respect and captivates the imagination of Nigerians as to the fact that they are different. And indeed, the PDP is very smart to be calling for two people in this instance. Peter Obi and President Goodluck Jonathan. And I'll tell you the reasons why. It's a good gamble. I don't know how they're going to go about it. I don't know how these two gentlemen will agree to go to the PDP and contest. I do not know. But I can tell you that both of them stand a very good chance, in addition to internal reforms in the party, to see if they can inspire some level of people power. Now, this is not because I want anybody to oppose the current president. I don't belong to any political party. It is because I want consolidation of our democracy. Now, in the case of Mr. Peter Obi, as a matter of fact, Peter Obi actually emerged the leader of the opposition in the last election. You know why? Because the scenario I painted about a very clean process was almost similar to what happened with the Obedient Movement and Labour Party. Number one, if there's any party in Nigeria today that ordinarily should have been an alternative to the establishment identity politics we play, that party should have been the Labour Party. You know why? It is owned by the Nigerian Labour Congress. So already it has natural structures in economic interest pressure groups across the country. From teachers' union to nurses' union to...
Apologies for that. Network not being friendly this morning. Mr. Majeed, can you hear me? Yeah, apologies to our friends who are watching online as well. Let's see. Okay, he's back.
People who are protect their individual and collective. The Labour Party would have leveraged on that struggle. You know, I'm saying that the Labour Party, more than another party in Nigeria today, ordinarily is well positioned to be the alternative to the establishment identity politics we play.
Okay.
Because it is owned by the labor unions in this country. The organized labor movement owns the Labour Party. So the Labour Party, for instance, already have structures by way of economic interest groups and other pressure groups, from teachers' union to nurses' union to tanker drivers. Name them. These people have come together ab initio to negotiate for a slight share of the cake. So what the Labour Party would have done is to simply mobilize them to now be the ones baking the cake so that they can now share it among themselves properly. Through legitimate means. But unfortunately, there was disalignment between the party, Color Party, the organized labor union, and even the pressure candidate, who didn't quite synchronize effectively to emerge as the new opposition party. Because what happened in the 2020 election was that we saw for the second time in Nigerian history, the first being in 2015, where Nigerians identified in Peter Obi an inspirational and transformational leader enough to come out and contribute money to his campaign, not the other way around, and voted for free. That was a move, a bold move towards democratic consolidation. But guess what? Something happened along the line. The beneficiaries of the obedient democratic revolution betrayed the revolution. When they got into the National Assembly and refused to be honorable members and refused to be distinguished senators. And they became sucked into the establishment. Instead of remaining as a beacon of hope, a beacon of the aspiration of those who sent them into the National Assembly, through sweat, through tears, through blood, through sacrifice. That alone has dampened the mood in the country to say, what else can we do for politicians to go into the parliament or go into the comment houses and serve us? If after that all we've done for these people, they went there and they betrayed the very revolution we carried out. Unfortunately, Mr. Peter Obi himself, who was the leader of this movement, has not done much or didn't do much to rein in those guys who rode on his back into the parliament to say, look, you have a responsibility to be different, to reflect that idea we had when we voted against PDP and APC in their strongest hold. Imagine, for instance, the person representing our president from a tier of federal constituency is a Labour candidate. They went that far. They defeated the president in Lagos. They defeated President Muhammadu Buhari in Abuja here. They defeated Oshomole in Edo. They defeated Abdullah Adamu in Nasarawa. They defeated Okowa in Delta. So what else do you want Nigeria to have done? When they resisted the dollar reign, the Naira reign of other parties, to focus on the one they feel holds the key to their transformation as a country. Now, they have failed the people. So it's like starting from square one, from ground zero. So now the PDP has an opportunity to have learned from this now, to see if they can now position their party to inspire that level of hope, that level of following that we saw in the 2020 election. Now, that is left for them to do. Now, in terms of candidates, yes, Obi, despite the fact that I still feel he should have done better as the leader of the Labour Party, so that by now, Labour Party would have simply attracted more followers. They would have opposed, by example, in the last 2 years, enough to attract followers. But haven't failed to do that. He still retains some level of credibility. People still see him largely as different from the norm. Due to his conduct, his comments, among all of them, is the one that makes at least attempt to speak to the real issues. Even though I still feel he's not able to come up with correct alternatives, but he's making attempts towards that. So it will be a game changer for the PDP if they can feel somebody like that and work closely with him to make sure they close up of those gaps that I've talked about have been liberated. Now, on the part of Goodluck Jonathan, I understand that in the northern part of this country today, they have come to realize that power shift to the south for 8 years is sacrosanct. That's the feeling in the north. They have come to that acceptance. But in staying with the south, who do we stay with if we do not want a Tinubu? Do not forget that the end hunger protest rocked Nigeria, and it was the epicenter of that protest was in the north. The same way NSAS was in the south. So already there is a grand swell of opposition of dissent against the ruling party for what they blame it for, for causing hunger and all of that. Now, to take advantage of this sentiment there will be also to bring somebody that can inspire their confidence. For them, they fared better under Goodluck Jonathan. They have tried, he has been tried, he has been tested and can be trusted. And so I can assure you, there is a mass mobilization of volunteers for Jonathan from the north. Now, whether he will accept is what I do not know. But what are the merits of his prospective candidacy? Simple. Jonathan is like a man who has died, gone to the great beyond, and actually saw that there is heaven and hell, truly. And he was accommodated in heaven in the third-class cabinet because of the little good things he did on earth outweighed the bad ones he did. So if you give an opportunity to come out to the earth, to this world now, having seen the fury of hell and the splendor of paradise, he would definitely want to now do more to outweigh the bad he did before so they can get a first-class ticket into paradise. These are the thinking, the feelers around that he has nothing to lose and he has all to gain by delivering good governance like never before, because it will be like an icing on the cake for his public service legacy. So both of them are the two most prospective alternatives from the south that the PDP may be considering. Another party is too for that matter. But again, it depends on how those are trying to bring them and the discussions, it depends on how they go. But generally, in addition to their candidacy, the party itself must carry out fundamental reform. The PDP has not been reformed since 1998. So to convert the incumbency disadvantage arising from underperformance of the APC, the PDP must reform now, in our collective interest. So that Nigerians can now see clearly that that's what the PDP is holding this government accountable for. They are already exemplifying that alternative in all of their processes. Once that is done in the next 2 years, we are convinced it might restore hope, it might restore confidence, and they can now leverage on people power to give the government of the day in a tough run for their money.
I mean, I'd have loved to chip in something about who is holding the ace in the PDP right now in terms of the Honorable Minister of the Federal Capital, Nyesom Wike, and how his influence can determine, make or mar, hurt or glorify whoever PDP decides to go with at the end of the day. But I do not have that time. But I hope to bring you back again next week, hopefully. But I also would like to announce to Lagos that Majeed Dahiru will be joining us on the paper analysis every Monday starting from next week. He will be our guest analyst every Monday on the dailies today from 7:30 to 8. And you've had a taste of what he brings. to public affairs commentary. So you know exactly what to expect. Mr. Majeed, thank you so much for giving us your time this morning. It's been wonderful listening to your analysis. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, my dear brother.
All right, Lagos. That's where we'll leave it for this morning. Majeed Dahiru joined us from Abuja, but I do not have enough time to go through the messages and even to take one call. Because I mean, if you know Majeed, you know that he's not shy of saying things the way they are. He'll be joining us every Monday on the paper analysis. Whether I'm here or Kofi is here, he will be our regular guest on Mondays. 7:30 to 8. That's the show, Lagos. I'm Sheriff Quadry on Facebook. On TikTok is Sheriff Quadry as well. You please join me, follow me. Let's keep the conversation going. Meantime, Daily Digest with Jimmy Disu is next after the news at the top of the hour. Stay with us, please.
More conversation, more talk, more right after this.
99.3 Nigeria Info. We are more than just radio. Subscribe to our YouTube channel at Nigeria Info FM. Check us out on Facebook at Nigeria Info 99.3. Follow us on Twitter at Nigeria Info FM and on Instagram at Nigeria Info FM Lagos for live updates as it happens. 99.3 Nigeria Info.